Hey guys, thank you for tuning in to Daily Cup of JoJo. Now, you're here today because you received that email congratulating you for being accepted to the New York City Teaching Fellows or the New York City Teaching Collaborative. Congratulations to you. This is going to be quite an experience. For many, it's going to be a journey where you will, find out new things about yourself. You are going into a brand new experience in life. Many of you want to be teachers. Some of you are maybe changing careers from another career to become a teacher. Whatever your story is, this is going to be quite the journey. So in this video, I'm going to tell you what the program expects from you, what they require from you, and basically what it's going to be like for you. So if you want to know, keep watching. So the New York City Teaching Fellows, as many of you know, is an alternate route to teaching certification where you can be accepted into the program, do the requirements, take the examinations, pass them, and your master's degree in education will be subsidized. Many people think that the Teaching Fellows is a free program. It's not. It's subsidized. So at some point when you receive or get a job offer, they will begin to take pay to cover the portion that is not subsidized for for your degree, basically, and for the tuition for whatever school you go to. A little backstory: I was a teaching fellow. My cohort was, I don't know the exact number, but my cohort was in 2015. I am still a New York City school teacher. I love my career. I love what I do. I think that doing the fellows, it was the best decision that I could have did for myself. Before then, I was a para in New York City school, so I always knew that I wanted, to go the teacher route. So my story is a little different. So I'm just gonna let you know, things that I wish were out when I was looking for information and when I was starting the program, because the program tends to change every couple of years. So now it's still the same, except for the fact that they rolled out another type of cohort, which is called the New York City Teaching Collaborative. It's called the New York City Teaching Collaborative. And that program rolls out around January. And the New York City Teaching Fellows, they begin to send their acceptance in or around March and April. And the fellows begins in June and ends around August 15th. That's 6 weeks, very intensive. The New York City Teaching Collaborative begins in January, where they put you into school right away. And I think it's Monday through Friday or Monday through Thursday. You are in the classroom working with a teacher, getting, the experience that you need. You're also working with the New York City Teaching Fellows Department, with the coaches, and you are doing, lessons, you're observing students, you're skill building, doing everything that's required from that program. So it sounds like the collaborative gives you more time, to learn more teaching skills. For those of you who are brand new to education, career changers, it gives you more experience and more time, as opposed to just the 6 weeks that the Teaching Fellows does. I know a couple of people that did the collaborative. They have really good things to say. There's always different sides to the story. Some people love it, some people don't. It's all up to you and what you want. So I'm just gonna talk to you about what I know, which is the New York City Teaching Fellows. And if you will go into the New York City Teaching Fellows, then this information will be valuable for you. I wish it was out when I was in the fellows. And also, if you're doing the collaborative, I'm pretty sure, I don't know about the collaborative, but I'm pretty sure that the information I'll be giving out, you can apply it to there too, because it sounds like they just split up the program and now they have two different things doing the same one. One is just longer. So what is required of you? Lots is required of you. You have a checklist, and it's a checklist with due dates. The most important things on those checklists to me would be the exams, those certification exams. As soon as you are able to register and take those exams, please, I can't stress enough, begin taking those exams, especially for the ones who are career changers that are new to education. You may want to get some books on, they have study guides and Barnes and Nobles of the exams. It won't be, the questions, but it'll give you certain scenarios of what you'll expect, working with students and things like that. So I wouldn't stress enough, to begin taking those exams now, because it's very important. Some people do not pass the exams and you have to wait a month after your score comes out to register for the exam again. So if you wait till the last minute, you may not have time and you may not meet the deadline that is being given to you. Also, there is certain, for the teaching fellows, you will be placed in different schools depending what you were accepted for. So I believe they have a bilingual 7 to 12, a special ed 1 through 6, and a special ed 7 through 12, I believe they have now. Depending on what you were picked for, they group you in schools for that. I went to Hunter College. I had special ed 1 through 6. So I currently work in District 75. When I did my training, which the teaching fellows will send you to a site to train for the 6 weeks beginning in June, and that's where you will get your experience. Where I trained was for 7 to 12. So it didn't matter that I was accepted for 1 through 6 because I was getting my certification in 1 to 6, and when I looked for a job, I was gonna look for a job within that grade band. So just because you are training in a grade level that is not the one you were accepted in, that has nothing to do with the whole process. One thing I will say is that when I was accepted, I was sent to a school that was very far from where I lived. And I appealed it, and my appeal was granted, and I got a training site closer. I don't know if I was lucky or if maybe I sent in the appeal right away and I had, a valid reason, because I just could not make that site. So if you are sent to a site that you feel like the commute is going to be over 2 hours, you can send in the appeal, send it in early. Just ensure that you have, a concrete and valid excuse as to why it's going to take you a really long time to get to the site. Now, when you're at the site training for those 6 weeks, they only give you 2 days to be absent. 2 days, and both times you have to bring in a note. So you can't be sick, you can't have an emergency, nothing. You can only be absent twice and you need a valid excuse. So to take exams, you have to schedule exams on Saturdays. If you're going to look for a job, you have to look for jobs on, I don't know when they expect you to look for jobs, but sometimes they have these job fairs, which is they let you leave early from the training site to go straight to the job fair. They check your attendance, like if, I don't know. I don't even know what to like describe this as, because when you go to a job fair, they will check to see if you really went to the job fair. Like they will check your attendance to see if you really were there, which is so bizarre to me. So back to the school. Whatever university they're working with. I know they've worked with Hunter in the past. They worked with Pace. They worked with St. John's University. That's the university that you will take your classes at. So when you're doing your fellowship in the summer, 7:30 a.m., you will be at your site until about 2:20, and then from 3:30 or 4 till 8 or 9, you will be in classes. Your whole day will be occupied. Do not make plans for anything because that will take up your entire day. You are going to be waking up and going to sleep doing things revolving around education and revolving around this fellowship program. I will say that being in school was a relief because the professors, they kind of empathize with you, and you guys build a community. The people that are in your school hopefully will be the same people that you are at your training site with, and you guys will build a community. You will support each other. You will find friends and work together for group projects. You'll handle papers together. Who knows? Just make a lot of friends when you do the fellowship program. One thing I will say too is that since the program is so intensive from June to August, you cannot have a job. So if you are employed and you will begin the fellowship in June, you should begin to save money as of now, because from June until you land a job with the Department of Education, you will not have income, and that can be very hard for some. They do give you a stipend, and the stipend is not a lot though, because you have to take the train and you have to buy books for things. So it's really not a lot of money. So my advice to you is save your money from now because you will need it. Let's see. Finding a job. So they tell you that, you do a lot of skill building sessions with them. They go over techniques on how to write lesson plans. They go over techniques on how to, sell your resume and how to boof up your resume so you can get a job. Here's a little secret. You can start looking for a job when you become accepted, when you are accepted to the program. And all you have to do is go on the Department of Education website and look up the emails of principals and start sending your resume, because usually principals begin hiring for the next year, May and June. So by summer, they already have filled in their vacancies. And if you are planning on looking for a job in August or mid-August, it's going to be very slim pickings. Okay? So that is my advice. You can just send in your resume to, the principals and go on interviews. You can, one thing I did forget, you can do interviews Fridays. When I went to Hunter, I didn't have class on Fridays. So that free time from the training site to from 2:20 on, I could have went to a job interview from like 3. Some schools have summer schools, so the principals will be in the school, and I'm pretty sure they'll be more than happy to interview you. Let's see. So you will have graduate courses. They're going to require papers. You're going to have exams. You really need to, budget your time and know that that's going to come. So in the morning, you're going to be going to your training site, and then in the afternoon and evening, you'll be in classes. Some classes maybe like 3 times a week. Some you may only go once a week, but they will require you to write papers. It'll be like childhood education or childhood psychology, or a paper on disabilities, and it'll be whatever courses you're taking. It'll be on that. So when you finish the fellows, I wanna backpedal a little bit. I'm sorry that I'm rambling on, but this is like a lot of information, and I want to make sure that you guys, get the information and just know beforehand, because for the fellows, it is only 6 weeks, and there's a lot of things that you don't know. So when you get accepted into the program, you receive the email, you're accepted, you're going to begin going to your training site. That does not guarantee that you are going to just pass the program, because the training is just part of it's basically like a 2-year process. You're going to, for example, start June 2020. You're going to graduate May 2022. So it's a 2-year process. It's accelerated. It'll probably be a little bit before then, but it's accelerated. The courses that you have are going to be accelerated. The amount of work that you're going to get is going to be very condensed, so you can finish fast. And you're taking the certification exams coupled with that while already working in a public school. So when you begin the program at your training site, there's going to be coaches. The coaches are going to be, teaching you strategies, and they expect you to apply those strategies into your lesson planning. You're also going to be in a classroom observing a teacher who's teaching, and at some point, they're going to set up meetings, and the teacher that you're going to be working with is going to tell you, okay, you're going to teach this day, just to get the experience. And on that day that you teach, one of your teaching fellow coaches is going to come in and observe you. Now, the observations, when they observe you, they are following a rubric. It is called the Danielson rubric. And it looks like this. You should familiarize yourself with that rubric and everything that it entails, because that is what the teaching fellows are looking for. They're also looking for lesson plans that are written with a purpose, that show differentiation. A lesson plan should have a common core standard. It should have an objective. A lesson plan should be written in a way that if a stranger finds it and picks it up, they know exactly what they need to do by the way that you wrote that lesson plan. So the lesson plan needs to be kind of a script. And that is something that's also in the Danielson rubric. So I think, familiarizing yourself with the Danielson rubric will help you a lot with the training at the New York City Teaching Fellows site that you are in. I'm going to do a video on lesson plan writing because I like to write lesson plans. I don't know. I write them pretty easy. I can do a live if you guys would like and walk you through, the process. Let me know in the comment sections below. And again, any questions, any comments, leave them down below. If you want to message me in private, you can always shoot me an email. My email, I'm going to attach it right here. Just let me know any questions. I'm here to help. I really think that, helping and just giving out that information and just helping someone who feels lost or frustrated in the process is, good. Like, you're taking this big jump. Like, people should, be there to help you and, just advise you. And I'm happy that I'm able to come on this platform and do that for some of you. Okay, so we talked about the process. We talked about what it is. We talked about the deadline that you have for certifications. We talked about taking the exams. We talked about your stipend. We talked about finding a job. I gave you a secret on how you can just email the principals directly. That's public information. We talked about, when you land a job. So this is after you have passed the fellows. They'll have a little party for you. Congratulations. You didn't land on, on a PIP, which is kind of an intervention for someone who is not doing that well in the Teaching Fellows program. I'm also gonna do another video on that and some ways that you can get out of that. So if you want to see that, check out my other video. They'll have a little party for you. And now it is September. You are walking into a new school, a new teacher. Now what? You're working from 8 to 3, 8 to 2:20, whatever your school schedule is. You're working, and then you go to school. If it's 2 days a week, 3 days a week, that's going to be your life. So now, here's where it gets a little more hectic, because now you have a real job. And this is not only a job, this is a career. So you have to treat it as such. You will be required to fulfill all of your principal's requirements. So if your principal wants a lesson plan available on your desk every day for when she or he decides to walk in whatever time they want, you have to have that lesson plan prepared for them. You have to, teach your students, meet with the students' parents. You're going to have parent-teacher conferences. You're going to have school. You're going to have papers to write. So that first year during the teaching fellowship and during your new employment, it's going to be a lot of things that you will be doing at one time. You're going to be working, you're going to be going to school, and you will also feel the wrath, observations from your principal. So just like the teaching fellows, coaches observed you by popping into your training site classrooms, your principal is going to do observations, but these are the real deal. Your principal is looking at the Danielson rubric and is grading you. Now, new teachers start off with, you are mandated to have a minimum of 4 observations a year, and one of them is a formal observation. In the teaching fellows, you'll also learn like the lingo, formal, informal, for things that, you know, you need to know. So you'll be required to at some point meet with your principal and discuss a time where they can do a formal observation. But the rest of them are informal, meaning that your principal is going to come into your room at any time and observe you. Requires a lesson plan that must be handed to them the minute that they walk in the classroom. So I'm just, you know, advising you of that. Start, you know, brushing up and enhancing those lesson plan writing skills, because I really feel that that is where a lot of people struggle. Know how to write a very, very good lesson plan, you shouldn't be stressed about teaching, and you shouldn't be, you know, feeling a little shooken up. All right, so wrapping this up, you made it through the first year. You made it through your first year of teaching at a real school. You received effective or highly effective, and don't feel discouraged if you get developing in the beginning, because everyone always gets developing in the beginning. You don't start off highly effective. You have to improve in some area. You made it through, and now it's graduation time, and it's done. You graduated. You're finished with the teaching fellows, and you're a New York City public school teacher. Pat yourself on the back. That wasn't so hard. But yes, let me know what you guys thought of the video. Let me know what comments and questions you have. Again, I'm gonna put my email in the description box below if you want to email me privately. I'm here to help. I'm sorry that this video went on for so long. That wasn't my intention, but I feel like it's a lot of information that I have to give. So if you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to click that subscribe button and the little bell icon for notifications of when I post new videos.